Welcome back to the Modern Woodcarver podcast. I'm your host, Michael. Today's guest is someone whose work I have admired for years. We're taking things in a slightly different direction today. Jeff Baenen of Baenen Boxes is not a traditional woodcarver in the sense we're used to, but make no mistake, what he creates is sculptural in every sense of the word. His boxes are not just containers, they're organic, they're architectural, they feel grown rather than assembled. Every curve, every joint, every lid reveal is intentional. The level of intricacy and attention to detail in his work is something that truly stops you in your tracks. Jeff sculpts wood into flowing forms, blending precision joinery with his artistic movement. His pieces feel heirloom driven, like they're meant to outlive us all. I've followed his work for several years now, and I'm genuinely excited to sit down with him today to talk about craftsmanship, design, discipline, and what it takes to dedicate yourself to a very specific and refined niche within the woodworking and wood carving world. Jeff, welcome to the show. I'm really happy to have you here today. Thanks for coming
Well,
on.
I'm very happy to be here. That's quite an intro. I never It's very nice. Thank you.
I mean, your work is amazing. I've been inspired from it for years, not just only as a woodworker, but as a wood carver as well. I think it's incredible what you put out. It's almost surreal to see.
Just keep trying to challenge it gets old, but like challenge of what a box can be and just have fun with it, just anything that pops into your head just to try to make it and hold it in your hands. That's just so much fun to do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you do it to absolute perfection. Every piece is just mind blowing. Trying to figure out how it opens and how it would work, and just to I don't even know how you come up with the designs of half of them. They're just so intricate and so detailed. It really is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of it is just I don't know. Yeah, it's just like sometimes music or just conversations with people or driving or and just looking at all your surroundings and there's so many beautiful things that are out there and forms and lines and everything like that sometimes I can just see something and it'll pop in my head like, oh, wouldn't this be cool to try to do something like that, and then it turns in the hand sketches, or I do solid modeling for my day job and design work, so sometimes I'll put it into 3D, so that I can start visualizing more of it. But the more
Interesting.
natural form it is, then I have to that's all sketches and everything.
Interesting. And how did all this start for you? I know you've been doing it for a number of years. Did you start out as a woodworker and just building furniture, or was it?
Uh, no, it was, I I grew up out of always it was one of those things, I always wanted to be an artist, um, but I knew of the starving artist part of it, so I'm like, "Okay, let me see if I can get into, like, design work in some way," and, pursued architecture for a little while, then actually got my degree in mechanical design, and I really love drafting and, like, hand drafting, the drawing aspect of that, um, so that's what I ended up doing, and the woodworking, I started refinishing some furniture, to save money, and then when I finally was able to get a house and I had an old 1929 house and a basement, I was actually able to start really kinda doing pieces, and the boxes came from a coworker who had their family had, like, 100 and some year old Bible, and he asked me to make a box for it, and that was the very first box, and, that one was called that was the rising, and I had designed a whole mechanism that you could flip levers and it would come out of the box, and I just fell in love with box making then, and, I just for the first probably, like, 3 years, 4 years, I just built boxes, and they just started building up in the house. Like, I just stored all of them, and,
Yeah,
until one day somebody said, "Hey, you should maybe, like, show people the boxes." So, then I started kinda trying to get out there a little bit and let people see what I was kinda doing.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, you've, in my opinion, have easily become one of the best box makers out there, that I've seen. And I've seen quite a lot, and friends with a good amount of them. But yeah, you're definitely up there in terms
Mm.
of design. The mechanics of it are incredible, and just the finish quality of them too is really unmatched. It's a
But I like
very
them to
high level
be
work.
yeah, I like them to be like, sometimes you don't want people to touch the work, but I like people to
Yeah,
it's a box. It's a very personal thing,
yeah,
and I want it to be, um, just the feel of it in your hands that you've never felt anything like that before, and, I mean, a lot of people, they might they ask, like, how I finish them and stuff, and, I've looked into French polish, and I've looked into like, a ton of different finishes, and in the end, Danish oil is, like, the number one thing that I use, um,
interesting.
and it's just following exactly the way I do it all the time. I think it's right on the can, but I do, like, at least 4 or 5 soakings of the finish, and then I use quad zero steel wool in between the coats, and so when you're done, it's glass smooth, and then it gets waxed and everything.
Interesting. Yeah, I would never have thought that you were just using Danish oil and wax.
Yeah,
I would have thought like the French polish or some sort of lacquer spray or something
yeah,
because they're really like high gloss looking pieces.
mhm.
Um,
There's a
and then
lot of
how did you
sanding.
end? Yeah, a lot of sanding. How did you end up getting into the box sculpting world? Because a lot of your boxes are sculpted, and they have these flowing forms to them.
Yeah. Um, I think it's just I I also follow a ton I love box making, and I love seeing people make boxes. Anybody there's some top guys that I watch that I was just like, "Oh, if I could only make boxes, like them." And
Yeah,
I read as much as I could. Um, I I think I have every book on box making, that's out there because I just love seeing or, is it 400 Wooden Boxes? If anybody could get that book, that is one of the best
yeah,
books ever.
I have
Um,
that one.
yeah,
It's a really great book. Yeah,
it's an amazing book, and
yeah.
I saw a lot of the classic style boxes, and I'm like, I wanna make something different than that, maybe that nobody's
Mhm.
seen before. Um, because I could sit down and I could read this article on how to make this box exactly like this. So, I wanted to make something a little bit different, and then just the lines and the fluidity of some of the boxes just spawned from that. Um, and it's just so much fun to do.
And they must take you a tremendous amount of time. I mean, building the box in itself is its own thing, but actually sculpting all the pieces and then, like you said, sanding and finishing. I mean, one box from start to finish must take you months.
Yeah, some of them have taken like 6 months to do. Um,
Yeah.
the one that isn't a box, but a lot of people know it, is the Domus Dolorum, which is the wasp, nest,
Yeah, that's a
holder.
beautiful one. Yeah.
That one
I didn't realize that wasn't a box.
no, I had set out for it to be a box, and I started doing all the design work for one of the larvae was gonna be a push button, and it would drop a brass scissor hinge that I was designing and making, and I had it all I had done a lot of the design work, and, it turned out I was working on it for over 3 years, and I was like
I
and I
rem-
got
I
yeah, I got the carcass, I got everything all done, and I'm like, "You know what? It's a beautiful sculpture."
Yeah, I
And,
remember seeing that for a long time, the Wasp, and,
yeah.
like, every so often, there'd be updates about it, but I remember it started out with just, like, the little Wasp aspect of it, and then it became bigger and bigger. I think there's 3 of them on there,
It's
if
4.
I'm
Yeah,
remembering. 4.
4
Yeah.
wasps, and, yeah, that one started from my father giving me the nest, and he gave me the dome, the glass dome. That
Okay.
The nest came, I believe, from our my parents' property. The dome My dad retired from Wisconsin Public Service, which was a big power plant, and there was a little shack in it on it for water treatment. It was a chlorinator, and this dome protected some of the instruments.
Mm.
They've since torn that whole power plant down, but so the dome had history in a way too. But he goes, "Hey, do you think you could just make me a base for this so I could like put the nest in it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I could probably come up with
Yeah, okay.
something."
3 years later,
Yes, and
a masterpiece.
that's what it's because it's my dad, you know.
Yeah, of
So you
course.
gotta,
Yeah.
yeah.
You gotta go above and beyond. Yeah, one of my favorite I don't know if it's a box, but one of my favorites that you've done was the giant cricket.
I'm actively working on that one right now. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, because I don't think I've seen it finished, but that one is is it a box?
it is in a box. It is,
It is in a box.
no, that one is
Okay.
gonna be just a sculpture, and I'm like I said, that's another one that's taken a while. It's
Yeah, I mean,
all
each leg and
Yeah,
antenna, like, looks like it's taking a lot of time and
it's
effort.
taken a while, and it's all carved out of African wenge.
Oh, is it? I didn't realize. I knew some of it was, but I
Yeah.
thought the body was walnut.
No,
Um,
it's all the body was so far it's a glue up of a it's a little over 2-inch thick board of wenge cut and then folded, so it's kind of like a weird book match. So you
okay.
can see the seam going right down the body, which is really cool because you see the grain just radiating off of it when you're up close to it.
Yeah.
Um, that is the Cricket of Self-Doubt. That's the name of the piece. Um, it's
Very
just
cool.
it's just something. The wings will be aluminum, and so I've also just picked up a very small English wheel to learn how to roll the aluminum and form it, so I can make the so
Wow.
I can curve the wings. And the wings will have sayings on it. I know they're not very nice, but it's the Cricket of Self-Doubt. It's it's what I always look at, like, artists here whenever they want to, put themselves out there for everybody to see. It's like the wings will say, like, "Quit, you're not good enough,"
Mm.
stuff like that, because it rubs its way, and you hear that, but you gotta, as an artist, you have to try to get past that and be okay with putting yourself out there for people to judge
Wow.
your work.
Interesting. I really love that. I love the multi levels of depth that are in your pieces, which is things I didn't really know for all these years. I thought you were just making things because they look cool, but I love the fact that you have these really well thought out ideas and there's meaning behind almost everything. And the fact that you create your own mechanisms, which again, I didn't realize either.
Yeah, which is a lot of fun. One of my oldest pieces, the, box of chocolates, which I need to get better pictures of it because it's probably like 15 years old now, and I still have it.
Yeah.
And you reach under the box and you can pull levers, and then 12 boxes at a time will come, or 8 boxes at a time will come out. So there's 24 little boxes inside of the one big box.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I can't imagine the thought process behind that. Um, yeah, it's gotta
That's
it's
when I
gotta
was
be consuming your mind all the time, like
Yeah.
doing
Well,
this and
yeah,
doing that, and it's gotta
so cell phones are good nowadays because before it was notepads and everything, but now I try anytime I come up with an idea, I try to write it down right away. Um,
Mm,
because I will
interesting.
forget, like, "Ooh, that's a great idea." Then I'll forget, like, the next day I'll be like, "I know I thought of a box last night, but I can't remember what it was." But, I try to write down the a name of the box or a really good description of, like, what the pieces are going to be. Because then sometimes what I do is I'll start buying like, purchasing all, like, the parts that I need to do it, and then that way, those parts are around me, and it's kind of like a little elbow hitting me like, "Hey, that part's right there. You could start on this box if you wanted to."
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And your go-to method of carving these things are the power route way. So you use a lot of rotary tools, and
Yeah.
am assuming angle grinders as well.
Uh, Actually, I bought something for an angle grinder, one of the big old burr discs, and, I haven't actually even used that yet because a lot of times the sizes of my pieces, um, I have
Yeah.
the bigger burr wheels and stuff, but nothing bigger than, like, 2 inches, to do the pieces. I have 2 Fordhams that I use, one of the 3rd horsepower, and I think the other one is like a 6th horsepower. Those were my main go-tos for a lot of it.
Interesting. Yeah, because you're mainly using hardwoods or exotic woods, and those are incredibly difficult to carve. I mean, with a
Yes.
knife, it's almost out of the question. I mean, you can probably carve for a few minutes before you want to, shoot yourself.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of the traditional wood carvers and whittlers, we use basswood. It's very soft. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it,
Mhm.
um, but it's incredibly soft. You can dent it with your fingernail. Carves really easy, and most carvers, at some point or another, they'll tend to venture into the harder woods. Maybe they'll work with maple or walnut, cherry, and then they quickly get discouraged because of how difficult it is carving. And the
Yeah.
only really way to carve those for most people is with a Dremel or some sort of rotary
Yeah.
power tool. And then you get into the whole power sculpting aspect of carving,
Mhm.
which is it's its own world. And there's some really well known artists who do those gigantic sculptures.
Yeah. Yeah, where
Yeah.
they got the chainsaws and they have, like, everything to take out the mat.
Yeah, they have all the attachments and the ball attachments and the
Yeah.
discs and sanding pads and yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
I
tried
mean,
any ArborTech stuff out yet, mainly because of the size
they're
of the
great.
stuff that I'm doing. I will at
Yeah.
some point to for a large removal of material, I'll probably try one of those out.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe ArborTech has a miniature version series of their tools. I know they
Hmm.
have like little ball die grinders and another really good company is Sabertooth.
Yes, I have
Yeah.
a lot of the saber tooth bits, and then,
Yeah.
Cuts All,
All is
and
very good. I have a few of their discs that I've worked with.
then when you're getting into more of the smaller detailed stuff, um,
Mhm.
just like a real good single or double cut set of the carbide, just the solid carbide bits that are maybe just an eighth of an inch in diameter, but they have ones, where they taper. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things I
Little
don't like to plug
flame
Amazon, but
burrs.
it's really easy
Yeah,
to buy those for like $20 and try them out or whatever
of course.
and get a
Yeah, you
set
don't
of them.
feel bad too when they burn out on you or
Right.
get dull. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of these Cutsalls and, saber tooth, one bit could be pretty pricey and,
Yes.
it's not in everyone's wheelhouse to buy $30 bits at a time.
Saber tooth right now, I know they do it. It's worthwhile to get on their website and sign up
Mhm.
for just their newsletters because every month they send out a newsletter for 25% off.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. You mentioned starting a box about 15 years ago. Is that how long you've been doing this?
It's
Or
maybe like 15 or probably over 20 years ago now that I did the first box. And I mean going back a little bit further, growing up, my dad had we had a wood shop in our basement of our house. My dad would make like he made our coffee table and he did all the trim in the house and and stuff, and then I would make, like, wooden butterflies, and my uncle would take them and sell them at the local art fair when I was little, but then my parents gave me my first Dremel tool, and that was where then I remember carving a robot, and every one of its joints could move, and his head could turn, and that, and so that was really, like, the start, and then, just life and trying to going to school and all that stuff, finding jobs, and then getting back into it was just really fun. But before that, then I would do like pointillism and watercolor and colored pencil drawings. I always loved just doing some kind of art.
Yeah, I think a lot of us in the community have some form of art, love of art in their background. Like I grew up, I always liked to draw.
Mm,
So, even to this day, I'll still sit down and I'll sketch out things and draw things out. Um, but I've always had that kind of creative, artistic streak in me. And but almost everyone I've spoken to has some form of an artistic nature to them, and I think it's really cool that they found a way to take that art form and transition it into either woodworking or wood carving, and
right,
it really kind of helps drive their you know creative streak. So I think it's really cool.
right. And it's so accessible, which
Yeah,
is so nice about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could sit down anywhere and pull out a pen and a pad and draw or paint or wood carve or anything. Now you've done mainly boxes, but since you are doing sculptures, is that something you plan on continuing in the future? Just kind of go that sculpture route?
So just it's gonna go the same route it's been for this long, where I'll do some sculpture, then some boxes, and sometimes a mixture. I got one that's a box, but it's really a real statement piece, and so it could still be used as a box if you took it apart. But yeah, the sculpture part, I mean, it's so much. I don't know. It's just so much fun to really let it everything just flow.
Yeah.
And I started doing something like 4 or 5 years ago. Just we all like to collect things. I started collecting hood ornaments, like
Okay.
old vintage hood ornaments. And what I try to do sometimes, and I can't really say downtime. I don't have a lot, a lot of downtime, but is to create mounts for them or incorporate them into some kind of sculpture that kind of makes the hood ornament kind of come alive and get a life of its own again. And because I just look at that as art. Those hood ornaments are just gorgeous. They're just beautiful,
Yeah.
and there's so much movement in them that it's fun to do a wooden base that just accentuates all that movement and the beauty of it. So
Very
yeah, it's
nice.
just a side thing that I like doing.
Yeah. What would be a cool idea is, those, I think it's the Rolls Royce where the ornament pops out
Oh, see,
when the
yeah,
car
that'd be
turns on.
yeah,
You make a box that
yeah. Or
it
they
pops
yeah,
out
you
of.
flip a lid or turn a little knob on the side and it comes rolling
Yeah.
out or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I'll get I'll make one. You buy me the Rolls Royce hood ornament though, and then
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure. Maybe I'll try to steal one if I see one.
yeah, that's why they flip under. That's what's so hard about getting one.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love everything you do. I mean, I can't say it enough, and I think that it's really cool that you're going that sculpture route. As a wood carver myself, and I can just really appreciate the detail, and you're doing a lot of realistic forms, like the cricket and the hornet. And personally, I find when I have to match something that already exists, like like an animal, I have an incredibly difficult time doing that because um, if you don't get it just right or hit certain elements, the whole thing just looks wrong. So I feel like it's a very fine line that you have to dance on to get it to
Yeah,
actually look like a realistic image. You can kind of come close, but it'll look weird.
Yes.
almost,
If a
like the
proportion is off
proportion.
or
Yeah,
yeah. Unless you can tell that it's that misproportion is designed into it, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If
But
you're
I
accentuating it
Yep.
somehow,
Yeah. Like, I
but
understand completely what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. So like for the cricket um, that you're doing, you know, the legs have multiple joints. Now, did you actually sit down and, I mean, obviously you have reference pictures, but
Yeah.
did you like look up how the proportions of a cricket's leg actually work to get those down? Given
Um,
that you have that mechanical aspect of your mind?
I will by looking and you're right, I download I don't know how many as many pictures that I can of the cricket, just like I did with the wasp. I had just a ton of pictures. And, if I'm carving, I have all the pictures, like, surrounding me so I can look at different views of them. I don't want just one side view, I want a top view, side view, front, and I want all that. But for the cricket legs, that one's kind of a because their legs are so intricate, what I'm doing is kind of a mix of, like, a real leg and not a real leg, um, to make it visually still like, people will have no doubt that that's a cricket and those are the legs.
Oh, 100%.
And,
Yeah.
but I even got one of those I got a cricket inside of epoxy, you buy them at, like, the the
Yeah.
shows and stuff, so and I have a loop, so I can, like, look and try to look at the loop and see how the legs are,
Wow.
and but I look mainly at, like I try to find really good sketches of it, and then I can and or somebody that's already taken all the pictures and all the different views, and I'd really try to look at those, and then I will Um, the one thing like we were talking about where you have basswood and then you got the hardwood that's like impossible. It is very hard to carve, especially wenge. Um,
Yeah.
almost all
Very splintery too.
yes. Um, so the cricket, I have a whole body carved out of basswood,
Oh, cool.
and I have a whole back leg, and the back leg is made up of two pieces. That I have that carved out of basswood, and that gives me one practice so that I can make the real carving in my mind, perfect to what I wanted,
Sure.
and it is so much easier to carve on basswood. It's
I
so nice.
was gonna say it's gotta easily take a quarter of the time.
Yeah, the first time I did that was the wasp. Um, I carved the first one completely out of basswood and how it was gonna mount, and I test all my fixtures, if I have a routing fixture that's gonna route a certain spot perfectly because I need it to be flat to mount to something, or I test
Sure.
out all my fixtures and everything on this first model that I carve, and I remember carving into it and just going, "Oh, this is why people carve out of this." I'm like, it was so nice to carve out of because I think one of the first big carving ones that took a long time was vertebrae, the spine box that I did, I didn't
I
do
remember that one too.
yeah, I didn't do any pre-carving in basswood, I went straight to black walnut, and I learned my lesson on that. That was a tough one, a lotta rasp and scraper work afterwards to
Yeah.
really try to get that finish right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a pre-model, and then the awesome thing about it is, like, for the wasp was now I had something visually that I could look at and
Yeah.
and use that to because I like on the wasp one, I had to carve 4 of them that were exactly the same. There was no CNC there, there was no nothing, that was me, and I'd go like this, and I'd line up everything in the light and just keep carving and until I had 4 of what I thought were exact models of each other.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty identical from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And the time on that is, I can't imagine how much time you put into that.
Yeah, that one was just it was a long process of love.
Yeah. It's nice to have a prototype model.
Yes.
I used to work in the framing industry, picture framing industry,
Okay.
and for many years. And oftentimes we made our own moldings, and we would always create like one extra length of molding.
Mm,
We would run it, and then that was always our test cut piece. It's something that we do, woodworkers in general do. They'll have a small test cut piece to
yeah.
get their angle just right or mill it just right and measure it and make sure it works. And then you test it all out on that piece before you run your actual,
Yes.
you know, pieces. So I kind of kept that alive. And a lot of times when I do a carving, I will hang on to the original. Okay, I won't sell it. I'll just
Yeah.
hang on to it, and I'll keep that around as just a reference point to
Hmm.
have. I may not copy it exact, but it's nice to know like, hey, this is where the nose should be. This is where the feet should go, or that's, you
Right.
know, the beard shaped this way, but maybe I can shape it a different way. But it's nice to have that prototype around. So I
Well,
definitely
see
understand what
now,
you're saying.
now I want to see your cabinet where you open it up and you have all these prototypes just staring at you.
No, they're not. This is just tools. I got my
No.
my my tools. So there's a little chisel rack in the side there. But yeah. No, I keep all my carvings in a box.
Oh,
My garage space is very tiny. It's a one car garage that I work
well,
out of. And yeah, I can only keep so many figurine carvings throughout the house. Most everything is in a box or scattered around the workshop.
grease is always the hard thing.
Yeah. Now, where do you store all your boxes? Because some of them are pretty big.
They're pretty big. What's really funny is a lot of them are behind me. So the a weird thing about the house we're in right now is we have you can walk behind the fireplace and
Okay.
but it's only like say 5 or 6 feet of space there to walk around the fireplace. But the room we're in has a cathedral ceiling. So I actually have this wire what this these wire racks go up like 10 feet, like 8 to
Oh
10 feet.
wow.
They're like some of the tallest ones I could find. And so everything gets wrapped in 100% cotton and each gets its own box. And then I just keep stacking.
Wow. Now, do you try to sell these boxes or do you give them away?
I just hoard them all to myself. No.
I'd
I
imagine it's hard to let some of them go. I mean, you put hundreds of hours worth of work into them.
Yeah. It is. I used to live down I live in Wisconsin right now. I used to live right in Illinois, and they had started an art walk. And that was one of the first times where somebody said, "Hey, it would be cool if you put your boxes there." And I was selling them there. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And in early Google, people could actually find my website, and I would sell
Mm,
some online. And now what I try to do is I try to and succeed. It's fun getting the boxes into like fine art galleries. Because I just love that people can see that, hey, woodworking can be like a fine art, some might call it fine craft or high craft, but
yeah.
anytime I can get accepted into a show, I just really love that aspect of it so that people can see my work and everything. And then but then yeah, to go back to it, a lot of times they do. I end up keeping them. I just had a solo show at the end of last year, which was really fun to do.
It's really cool. Solo show must be really nice to be a part of.
It was like 2 year, about a year and a half of just building constantly for the show.
A lot of effort in that.
Yeah, but yeah, I do like to collect them.
Yeah, I think all of us have collections of our
Of
stuff
our stuff,
everywhere,
yeah.
and yeah, um, you know, I like to I like to make things and give them out to the people I care about,
Mhm.
family members, my parents or my wife or kid or
Yeah.
things like that. I don't know if I'd want to give an heirloom quality box that I spent 1,000 hours on away, but you know, a little whittling carving, that took a couple hours is not a big deal.
Yeah. Every
Yeah.
my direct family, everybody has a box or something that I've made. I mean, of course, my mother's got 2 or 3, cutting boards and stuff that she will never
Yeah.
put a knife on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah,
Yeah. My
it's just fun.
my mother always insists on buying stuff from me, and I'm like, just take it. I don't need,
Yeah.
you know. She's like, I need a new cutting board. I'm like, just I got 100 of them. Just take one, you know. But she like, she insists. She's like, I want you to take some money for it. I'm like, No, that's okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I try to make, like, a lot of the stuff if I do it I remember my dad cut down a maple tree, it had died on the property, and that was our first time. I'm like, "Oh, it'd be cool if we could, find somebody to cut it up into lumber and dry it." And he was able to go through that process with me, so that was fun, and we put stuff all in the barn, and, of course, the insects got to it up in the barn, and then
Yeah.
I had to bomb the room but a lot of the pieces that I try to make, it's out of the wood from their property.
Wow.
So
That's really cool.
yeah, it just adds to the story. And
Yeah.
like Amy, my partner, her dad gave her some black walnut from what was the farm when he was growing up. And I ended up making Christmas ornaments out of the black walnut from his farm and the maple from my family's house. So all the pieces, all it was a blending of a family.
That's
And
really nice.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
really fun to have a little bit more meaning to it. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely never gonna look at another one of your boxes the same. I'm gonna question every aspect of it. Like, what does this mean? And what does that mean?
it just be that it looked cool to me because I did do a lot of them where I
Yeah.
would just be like, "Ah, I think this would just look really neat," and then try to do it and pull it off.
I'm curious to know, like the sculptures you've done all have been animal based. Are you gonna change that up and do some more abstract kind of things? Are you gonna keep going that animal route?
I do some abstract stuff, which is fun. And well, the main ones are I don't know why, insects to me are just amazing. Um,
Mm,
and there's just their proportions and the shapes and, the more I think you look at, macro shots of insects, the more you understand where, like, sci-fi movies get all their creatures and, like, you just blown
yeah.
away by you would never know something like this exists, and all of a sudden you see a macro, really close shot of something, and you're like, "That is just otherworldly," and it's so cool
Yeah.
to look at. So,
Oh, that's
I
really
know I have always wanted to do a huge beetle. Um,
okay.
I had a box that had to do with, like I didn't never got to make it, but like a saber tooth because I thought the
Mm,
legs would look so cool as the teeth. Um, just like I did that talon box where the hinges were the talons and the feet of an eagle. That was just fun to figure out.
yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Any chance of doing a spider?
Yeah. I mean, well, I did Nightmares and Dreams, which actually the nickname for that was the spider box. Except it had 6 legs. Well, it had 4 legs.
Yeah,
It had 4.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I'd have to go back and take a look.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look
Yeah.
at Nightmares and Dreams, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the one that I
Yeah.
used to while I was working on it, I would run out of my basement because 'cause I'm like, "That thing's gonna come alive and chase after me."
I like how you're able to kind of bounce back and forth between the woodworking aspect of the boxes and the sculptural aspects. Why the wood choice of Wenge?
Uh, yeah, really, it's kinda like that. Like, my main thing for the cricket was a house cricket, which is really dark brown to black. And I don't really like to use any stains. I just like the
Hmm.
wood to just kind of speak for itself. There's so many different species, almost any color you want, unless it's a I do have like the ripple box I did where I will dye it blue because it's
Hmm.
water. But
Yeah.
the Wenge, you know, I couldn't afford to make it out of African blackwood. That'd been
Yeah.
or
I don't
ebony.
blame you there.
Yeah, or ebony. So as soon as that oil touches that Wenge, it darkens up like quite a
Yeah.
bit. Um, so that was, and then its grain pattern, it's just really beautiful. So it lent itself to being like the perfect color of wood for the cricket.
That's cool. I've worked with Wenge before, mostly smaller scale stuff, but yeah, it's a beautiful piece of wood. Very splintery though. Very splintery.
Yeah, and it can go as a septic in your hand, right? You got to get the slivers out really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've had a couple where like you grab it and you're just covered in splinters everywhere,
yeah.
and they hurt.
Even though I had designed a lap dust collector that I use, and I still wear, even though that thing's being pulled by an Oneida dust collector, I still put a mask on and everything too because
Yeah.
I can't imagine even breathing in all that Wenge dust and chips.
No, and since you're power carving them, I mean, it's just pure dust.
Oh, it's just coming out. Yeah.
And wearing the mask and carving for a couple hours at a time that's intense too.
Yeah.
It weighs on you.
Yeah. And then trying to wear the mask and then, put the readers on.
Yep.
Yeah. Cause,
And the headphones because it's noisy
yeah.
and dust collector.
I did start wearing the earbuds a little bit to try to at least get some of that music. I mean, I have speakers in the basement in my shop and stuff like that, but that dust collector can really drown out a lot of that.
Oh,
But I'll do the power carving, but when it comes to the details, like if you ever saw the closer shots of the wasp, that'll all be then like knife work or chisel work. Um,
yeah. I was gonna ask you if any of them end up seeing chisels or knives to them.
yeah, yeah. And then we have a friend that owns uh he runs a framing company here in Kenosha, and but he his weakness is pencils. He collects pencils and anything to do with it. So he's got the pencilarium, and he also is an artist, and he does a one by one show every January. So your the piece can be, if it's 2D, 1 inch by 1 inch, and that's it. Um, but if you do
Wow.
3D work, you can be 1 inch by 1 inch, and that third dimension can be whatever you want. So I'll do little one by whatever carvings, and a lot of those to get the detail, you got to do knife work to try to get something in there. So
Yeah, I mean, there's some things that you just need a knife for,
yeah.
and because I've done some of the power carving myself, mostly with a little Dremel. I don't
Mhm.
really have a ton of the appropriate tools, but there's just something about it that for me, I don't have the hand for it. It gets heavy. I don't have that attachment that makes it easier to.
Yes, I would say to really do like controlled work, you have to have some kind of flex shaft tool. It just does really help. I did about a year ago, 2 years ago, I got my first like micro motor um tool, and that well, for detail, the handle is really light, but it spins up to 50,000 RPM.
Mm,
And the control you have at that high RPM, as long as you're not hogging out a lot of material, there's not a lot of torque to the machine.
yeah,
You can get some great detail with one of those with a lot of control.
I guess if you have one of those pencil point engraver tips
Yep.
that I see people
Yep.
use, yeah,
Or
because I
really small
see
balls.
I see online a lot of these. they're mostly either like from Vietnam or maybe China or something, and they carve a lot of those dragons or foo dogs or
Yes.
other Asian inspired architectural pieces, and it's all done with a rotary tool, but they're using those fine tip points, and the videos always go from really rough to all of a sudden super smooth.
Yeah.
And I always wondered if they're scraping it or if it's all that tool that's just getting in there and they're just basically polishing piece by piece.
I
I'm
don't
kind of
know.
inclined to believe it's the tool.
I don't know because I've I was like, "Oh, wait, I see the tool they're using, and I see some of the rough work they're doing with it." And then,
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I got one just to see the bit. I'm like, "Oh, I can just let me get this bit and let me see what it does." It was, like, so hard to control. And it was like, I don't know how
Yeah,
what they're doing, but I don't know what kinda wood they're carving. Um, the amazing thing with those, I see those things too, and those carvings are stunning
yeah,
every time I look at them. I don't
yeah,
know how they do it, and it's so beautiful, and it seems like everyday carving to them, you know?
yeah.
It's just the level that they carve at is amazing.
I mean, there's only one YouTube channel that I know of. I believe it's called Wood Art Vietnam or Vietnam Wood Art or something.
Mhm.
And they they really blew up because they carve a lot of pop culture stuff, Spider-Man and Venom
Oh,
and
okay.
anime characters and stuff. I mean, all their stuff is incredible, but it looks like they're in a business that just carves all day. They
Oh,
carve
okay.
Buddha statues, and I guess whoever runs the channel, he carves all that pop culture stuff.
Mhm.
But he's their channel's the only one that I've seen where they'll kind of show glimpses of the different stages of them scraping it and sanding it. There'll be someone off in the background scraping a section
Oh,
of it
okay.
while the others rotary tool in it. Um, but all the details are just they're so tiny and intricate and
Yeah.
um
I'm always amazed that
so
the
I
wood's just not splintering apart, like, when
yeah,
or little bits are chipping off when they're trying to get the detail in. Yeah.
yeah. And they're using both. They're using both the rotary and the actual chisel and
Yeah.
mallet. So um but like it goes from this real rough crude look to all of a sudden just pin perfect.
Right.
Um, so I guess they just have a team just dedicated to scraping and sanding
Yeah.
for hours and hours. Maybe they have probably little tiny scrapers. Um, and I guess that's kind of what you do with your work. You scrape it when you're done.
Yeah, I'll use I mean, because the sandpaper is always it's always gonna, like, soften an edge or something like
Mm.
that.
Leaves the wood kind of dull looking too at times.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a I don't know how many little scrapers and stuff that I use. I'm trying to think of the company that makes the knives also, but they have a little scraper set that's got, like, 5 bits that you can pop into it, and they'll be, like, an eighth of an inch wide and circular at the end, and, you can scrape
Oh, it's
really
one
s
of those handles with the interchangeable
Yeah, yeah,
scrapers. Yeah,
mhm. It's the company that's in Erie, Pennsylvania. I forget the I forget the name of it, though, but I have their
yeah.
knives
I'm not
also.
Flex Cut. No, I
Yeah,
don't. Are they in?
yep,
Oh,
yeah,
Flex
Flex
Cut.
Cup,
Yeah,
because
I'm
they
not
do
sure
the
where they were located.
Yep, and they have an it's a really
Mm.
nice scraper set. It's got, like, 5 interchangeable heads, and they're all small, and, you
Oh,
can
cool.
scrape some details in very, very nicely.
I should pick up a set. I don't, but again, and scraping basswood is not
Mm,
the same. It doesn't work
yeah.
as well. One thing I learned over the years too is using a razor blade as a scraper.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll get you out of a pinch every now and then.
and then the cut you get off of the tiny solid carbide bits at a certain
Hmm.
speed, those things cut very, very smooth. I
Okay,
mean, not
yeah,
saying
I can see
you don't
that.
have to scrape or finish, but they can get you a pretty nice finish, right
I
off the
guess if
bat.
you're light enough with the touch,
Right.
you get a nice
Control is always the big thing. And like
yeah.
any kind of woodworking, work holding, like, well, how am I going to hold on to this while I cut this? And, I got to be able to rest part of my arm so that I can sweep my hand in a certain radius or something. Yeah.
So how do you predominantly hold your work? I mean, I know it's all different pieces and subject matters, but is there a particular method you use?
It is mainly just by hand if I'm doing the carving, and it's usually on my lap. And like I said, I had designed just a lap dust collector just out of MDF with it's like a jointer plastic thing that you put on your joiner to collect the dust. But I have that all
Mhm.
mounted underneath, and then a grill, an aluminum perforated piece of metal, so I can carve right on my lap. And then when I carve, I actually mounted a big LED light that could be like put on a car or something, but it plugs into 110. And I've mounted that under my bench so that it shines right across, and I have a raking light the entire time that I carve.
That's got to be helpful.
So yeah, with that raking light, you can see every little thing that's kind of a mess. Little like, there's some even scratches from like 80 grit or something like that. You'll pick anything
Yeah.
up, or scratches on 150 grit. If you're on end grain, you can pick it up with that raking light.
The raking light is an underutilized tool
Mhm.
in the shop. I know mostly people in the finishing world use it mostly,
Yeah.
but it has a lot of its benefits in, building things and carving things. Lighting in general just is a game changer.
I usually carve actually I have the lights all off, and, I'll have the raking light, and a lot of times I have, what I first started with is I have a movable, drafting light that I can, like, swing around on the arm, and I can twist the head so it can also be a raking light if I need it to be. And but, yeah, carving in the dark for me actually is the best.
Interesting. I don't know if you have one of these, but what I use for bigger carvings, I have the Veritas carving vise that mounts to your work table.
Mm.
Are you familiar with that?
Is that the one that had the screw that could go up into your piece?
So it does have a worm screw that you can use for
Okay.
you know, but the regular one, so it's just like a plate, and you can screw from underneath into your workpiece. Or what I do is I screw a sacrificial piece to the plate, and then I double stick tape my workpiece to the
Oh, okay.
sacrificial. Because couple of reasons. One, I don't want to screw into my workpiece, and then two, um, I've slipped with my chisel a couple of times right into the plate,
Ooh,
and that's a
yeah.
time-consuming project. But this thing is cool because it swivels this way. You can turn it around, so you can really,
Yeah, that thing is nice.
gets. Yeah, I mean it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Definitely worth the investment if you're carving bigger things and you need a way to hold it down, and you don't have a traditional woodworking bench, with the
Mhm.
mocks and vise and the leg vise and tail vices and all that.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
actually well, I built my own mocks and vise, but that can only get you so far, and that's really good for, like, if you're doing dovetailing or, like, really detailed work.
yeah,
Um, but I
more
made
cabinetry type stuff.
Yeah, I have a mocks and vise, but I designed it so that it goes out to about a foot and a half deep of actually a 4-inch thick workbench. And then I have dog holes in it so that if I and I have the Veratus, the pop-up dogs,
Yeah,
the spring-loaded ones in the part that moves, so I can hold pieces on this Moxon vise if I have to.
yeah.
And ends up being really nice. And then I built one of the high vices, the bench crafted high vices, 'Cause a lot of tools, I just see them and I'm like, "Oh, that'd be fun to build." And then so I buy the kit and to be able to build the tools that you're using is fun too sometimes.
Turning into like Matthias Wandel.
Oh, I've
You
seen his.
familiar with
Yeah,
Matthias?
yeah.
Yeah, he
But he built
builds
his
everything.
bandsaw and he built
His bandsaw, his table saw, and yeah. I mean, at some point it gets a little ridiculous, but
Yeah,
yeah, he's another one with an extremely mechanical mind.
extreme, like, yeah, over the
Extreme.
top mechanical. I've never thought of building my own bandsaw, you
Yeah,
know.
it's I feel like you could
Well,
if you really wanted
I
to.
mean, I would love to do like a Matt Cremona where he built his huge slab cutter one. I mean, that would be amazing to do.
Yeah.
As soon as I teach myself how to weld, I gotta do that.
Well, I'm sure you'd pick it up pretty quick, and you'd
Oh,
probably build some outrageous things.
I think that's one of the things I wanted to go back to school for. I don't care how old you are. It's just too much fun
No.
to learn how to do things. And then nowadays, I don't know if you've seen the ads for all the new laser welders and how
I've seen a
well.
few. I haven't paid attention to it much,
Yeah.
but
I've looked at those and I'm just blown away by technology that way and how they're getting these beautiful welds out of these laser
yeah,
welders.
crazy. And who's your biggest inspiration in, let's say, both box world and sculpting world? Because I'm sure there's both.
Yeah, it's um the biggest like for me, I always love like architecture though. So like dwellings and stuff like that I think are so cool. So I mean like I live around the area where Frank Lloyd Wright was huge around here. And I've done
Yeah,
2 or 3 pieces based off of his works, off of his houses, and, I just find his stuff just to be absolutely amazing. Um,
yeah.
and then, I mean, it goes, Green and Green, they were just that work was always just amazing. Some of the first ones, box-wise, I think, like, Andrew Crawford, out of England,
Hmm.
he was doing some of the first, books, and a lot of it's all marquetry, but it just blew me away, and I was just like, "I can't believe somebody can make a box look like that." It was just they were beautiful, and, so, yeah, seeing his stuff that he was, like, one of the main box people for me, and now it's wild because he is on Instagram, and to talk to him we've talked a couple times, we've commented, and I would love at some point in time to take one of his classes over he's in England, so it would just be yeah. I don't know if I'd get anything done, I'd just be like it's
Yeah,
that's just like talking to people. I mean, I'm sure you have it too sometimes where, you're just a wood nerd.
you just want to nerd out,
Yeah,
and
and you just,
yeah.
I went to, Handworks in Iowa. Was it
Mhm.
Handworks? With the first year, and, just seeing some of the people there that were, like, YouTube people or, like, Instagram famous, and I'd just be like, "Oh my god, that's so and so," and I felt like Ron Swanson when he saw Christian Bale,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I could
Yeah,
go
he was
talk
all
to him.
giddy and running
Yeah,
around.
he's got so many
Yeah,
people that wanna talk to him. There's no way I could
it
talk
was
to him.
one guy talking to
Yeah,
him.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's great. One of my buddies on Instagram who I've chatted to for many years is another box guy. Um, you probably know him. Um, his name's Jason. Milwaukee.
Oh, Laguerre.
What's his?
Do I say his
Yeah,
last name
Jason
wrong?
Laguerre.
Jason Laguerre. Yeah,
Laguerre. Yeah, he has a couple of Instagram pages. Milwaukee boxes,
humidors.
or
He does, the
yeah,
humidors
humidors, and
mainly now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you when you mentioned Frank Lloyd Wright, I know he's heavily inspires Jason's work, and he comes out with all those colored boxes and everything,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's really beautiful to look at. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I actually,
I got to meet him, I think Art Fair on the Square, we went, and I was like, "No, I know Jason is here. I wanna go shake his
yeah,
hand." So I hunted him
yeah.
down, and then, we just talked, like, a month ago, and we just said, "All right, that's enough. You only live like 40." He said, "We only live 45 minutes apart. We got to hang out
Yeah,
soon." And
yeah, he's a cool dude.
yeah, we're both trying to get all of our ducks in a row right now so that we can hang out a little bit.
I'm the one who dubbed him the Mad Boxman of Milwaukee.
Oh,
So if you ever see him with that, sometimes he'll include it, but I'm the one who gave him that nickname. Yeah, because him and I have been chatting on and off for, I mean, I don't know, 20 since 2020, 6 years, 7 years, or something
mm,
like that. Yeah, he's a good guy,
yeah,
and incredible work too.
yeah.
Is there any sculptor artists or carving artists that you inspire you?
I am horrible at names, um, and everything like that. I just, especially when you're in a podcast, and you're like, "Oh,
Sure,
yeah." Um,
you're
but
on the spot.
yeah, I mean, go for the oldest one just because I watched the documentary on it, and I find it amazing that stuff like that could be done, but the Gringling Gibbons, I don't know
Hmm.
if you ever looked up I mean, it's like hundreds of years ago that he carved, and the stuff he would carve, I'm just like, "I don't know how you could do something like that." And,
Yeah.
it was just the fact there was I don't know if it was on PBS or whatever, but they had a documentary on him, and, yeah, just seeing his stuff. I think he carved purely I always wondered what lime wood, if that is like a basswood here. I didn't really fully ever look into it because lime wood is used a lot, and I think it's just a really tight grain.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's similar to basswood. I know basswood in the UK is referred to as um,
Is it boxwood? No.
lindenwood.
Oh, lindenwood? Okay.
Lindenwood. But I think lime is over there is one of their main carving type woods. I think
Yeah.
it's all within the same family of tree, and
Okay.
I don't think there's much difference, but I could be wrong.
I could also. I have no idea, but I found his work to be just amazing.
I notice a lot of the old school carvers, from like those old documentaries, they all use lime wood or
Yeah.
refer to it as lime. Yeah. But I have yet to come across any lime wood.
That's what always makes me like, "Hey, let me go on eBay and see."
Yeah. I wonder, I guess it's just from a lime tree.
I would assume that also, but I don't, like, I don't know. But
But what's funny about that, which makes me think it's not, is fruit woods are generally pretty hard.
yeah.
Apple, cherry, walnut. Well, walnut's not a fruit, but they're generally pretty hard to deal with. So I don't know if it's necessarily
Yeah, what it would be.
from that. I never heard of a lemon wood either.
No,
So maybe it's not a thing. But I'm sure it is. Oh, very cool.
that the whole collecting of the wood too, is the fun part because there's just
Yeah.
the fact that they have this over here, but they don't have it over here, and we have this here, but they don't have it there. Um, I usually taking motorcycle trips if I can on those trips or just and car rides also. If we go somewhere different, the first thing I do is I try to find a lumber store and buy one of their native woods, a figured one if I can, and then I have it shipped back home so that at some point maybe I'll come up with a box design while I'm on this trip because that's usually when your mind might be able to go a little bit, like relax a little bit. And then I'll try
Yeah.
to design a box or something using the native wood from that area.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a nice little memory for
Yeah.
visiting that place. And
Yep.
yeah,
Instead of like
very
trying to
nice.
take a picture, I mean, I'll still take pictures, but a postcard or some trinket that you're never gonna care about, actually making something out of the wood from that area, and then you can remember your trip and the fun that you had.
That's a nice little heirloom type project. That's really cool. I have a another friend of mine who's a carver. He created like a wood library in his shop. So
Mm,
he's basically collecting little 2 inch by 4 inch
Yep.
slabs of wood of each species. And what he's doing is he's making it look like a bookshelf where the book, like they look like books, and
Oh, okay.
he's writing on the spine essentially what the name of the
Oh, wow.
species is.
That would be
And
cool.
he's just engraving it, and then he has like a whole library strip of these little 2 by 4, little
Mhm.
half-inch by 2 inch by 4 inch pieces. So it's a cool little project,
Yeah,
and it doesn't require buying a gigantic block of expensive wood.
right.
You just need to get your hands on a little piece.
I think the
So
so when I did Box of Chocolates, that one was all about every one of the 24 boxes had a different species of wood as a lid.
hmm,
Um, and I got some of those. I think it was Bell Forest. You could buy the box.
Belfast is amazing.
Yeah, you could buy the box of wood from them, and it was the 2 inch by 4 inch pieces, and it was like
Yeah,
you could pick out like I don't know, 20 or 30 different
yeah.
species, and they would all be cut into that, and then that's what I was able to make some of the lids out of.
I think they sell them as sample sets. Belfars is I've have nothing but positive things to say about them. I've been using them for years. I buy basswood from them.
Okay.
You know, you I buy the blanks, and I cut them up into. I
Oh,
mean,
okay. Yeah.
I have the capability to cut them down, so I buy them in 2 foot, 4 foot lengths or
Right.
whatever. But you could buy the smaller blocks and everything, and all their wood is really good.
Yeah.
No
They
complaints.
are
I've gotten a lot of exotics from them as well.
yeah, they are super guys too. Um,
Yeah.
if you need a specific piece of wood, they'll be like, "All right, just hold on, let me go and look." And, or
Yeah.
they know that they have a load of wood coming in, and they will help you out and get it. Um, that was one of my motorcycle rides because they're out of
Oh, that
Ish
would have been cool to see.
they're out of Ishpeming, Michigan, so it's beautiful up there
Mhm.
too. And,
Yeah.
they were very gracious and everything because I was basically just a wood nerd showing up at their at their shop, and they gave me the tour, and, yeah, I got some crazy bird's eye with mineral streaks through it because they were like, "Yeah, we got this board. We don't know what we're gonna do with it." And I'm like, I'll buy that one." And, yeah, they cut it like 4-foot lengths, and they shipped it back to my house for me.
That's awesome. No, they're great. I mean, one time I ordered a box of exotics. I got Paduke and zebra wood, or a couple of bowl blanks and everything. And I guess in the box, to create bracing
Yeah.
so it wouldn't cave in, or something, they put like other exotic wood pieces in it. It was like there was an extra piece of like zebra wood, and I was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Did they just?" I was like, "Did they send me freebies?" And I was like, "No, it was all like just ways to brace the box." I was like, "Oh,
Right.
that's really cool." Yeah, but no, nothing but positive things about those guys, and I would love to one day see their shop,
Oh, yeah,
because I'm a huge wood nerd too. So
yeah, it's beautiful to go up there, and, just the area is really nice.
very cool.
Amy just reminded me, yeah. I mean, we talked about, um, selling or showing and a work and everything like that, and then, we're hoping about, I'd probably say about 3 months ago, Amy bought a building, and,
Wow,
we're having our own art gallery.
that's awesome.
It's
That's
in
really cool.
mid work right now. Actually, the flooring, I think, was going in today. But yeah, that's, the future is it's going to have an art gallery in it, so, yeah, we're
That's
really,
amazing. Congratulations.
yeah, we're excited and
That's
scared
a
at the same time.
eh, I don't blame you. That's got to be terrifying. Nice. You got to sell a lot of boxes, man.
But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Is your partner involved in the art world as well?
She is.
Okay. What is her?
Her medium she does a lot of, collage work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys ever collaborate on any type of projects?
We help each other out on projects. I don't know if we've really ever fully collaborated on a piece, but it just, like I might be working on something and I'm like, "Oh, I need this done to it." And she's like, "Oh, I got that." And then she'll do a piece and she'll ask if I could do a nice frame for it. So I'll make the frames for her pieces or
Yeah.
create the substructure that she's actually going to collage onto.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice too to have that artistic mind take a look at what you're working on. If you get a little lost, you can have,
Yes.
an extra set of eyes or an opinion
Yeah.
to
And
help you out.
that's basically we tried to set like our house. She's got her studio is upstairs and mine is the basement. And we can run back and forth. You can, just to be able to show somebody like, "Hey, what'd you work on today?" And yeah,
That's
and we
really
can
cool.
and then bounce ideas and I'll be like, "Well, what do you think about if I did this to this?" And she can give me her opinion and she'll ask me something upstairs on her pieces and yeah, it's just and then we just try to make a house where anything you can think of, you can create.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. So it's the gallery is just gonna be a whole new step, but yeah, we're excited about it. It's gonna be in
That's really cool.
Burlington, Wisconsin. It's
Burlington, Wisconsin.
called the Foxville Gallery.
The Foxville Gallery. Very cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll definitely link all that stuff and or include it in the description. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be ready in time when
Yeah,
this
yeah. She's kicking
episode
out
airs,
some
but
info, but
yeah, no, definitely when it's up and running and everything, send that over to me
yeah,
and I'll
I will.
happily share that around. I don't think I have much reach in Wisconsin, but you never know.
Where
I
where are
know
you where are you
you and
out of?
Jason.
Yeah, Jason
I'm
and I now, so
yeah, there you go. Cheese country, right?
there you go, come on up. Beer
You
country.
guys have those cheese hats?
No, I would carve mine out of wood anyway, it wouldn't be out of foam.
Yeah, probably make a box somehow and press the button and
It would just hold more cheese.
cheese hat to hold
Yeah.
cheese. I'm in New York,
Oh, okay.
so I'm in New York City, not in Manhattan, but I'm in the outer boroughs. I'm in Queens.
See, I went to New York for my very first time, but it was a while ago, and right away, I had a nerd out with my friends. I'm like, "No, I have to go to this place called Tools for Working Wood,"
Hmm.
and, I forgot what I bought. I had to buy something. I'm like, "No way. I gotta go to this place."
Yeah,
It seems like such
where
a
was
cool
that?
place. I'd have to look it up. It's a really cool shop. It was on, like, the 2nd or 3rd floor of an old factory.
Okay, yeah, I do know in Manhattan there's a couple of those like tool shops. They sell chisels and old antique tools and stuff, and
Well, these
um,
guys have their own
I think
Gramercy tools they sell.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they make their own some
yeah,
of their own products and everything, so yeah, it was a cool, I didn't think I'd find that in New York, so
yeah. It's actually New York's tricky. There's not a whole lot in the. There's a ton of woodworking stuff in New York, but they're commercial shops. But there's
yeah.
not a lot for the hobbyists. So
Mm.
there's no woodcraft stores, no. You
Oh,
know, you can find those little stores like in the city, but unless you really are in the trade, you're not going to know about them. You're not going to really find them.
right.
Um, so I think I've only ever been to one that I
Mm.
know of, and like I said, they had chisels, they had like Arkansas stones and things like that. Sharpening tools. But yeah, I would love a woodcraft or you know what's the other one that they have?
Rockler.
Rockler.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Rockler would be
those are
cool.
your 2 big mainstream ones.
Yeah. So a
Um,
friend of mine, he he's 10 minutes from a Rockler, right? And he said, "Oh, just hop." I was said I needed something. He's like, "Oh, go to your closest Rockler." I was like, "Dude, the closest Rockler to me is 6 hour drive. Like, I'm not going there." Yeah, like, there's no way.
And then yeah, then you got shops that are like the Mecca that like Amy's sister lived in Decatur, Georgia for a while,
Hmm.
and Highland Woodworking was like
Yeah, Highland.
15 minutes away or something. I'm like, we got to go there. So
That's awesome.
she puts up with all of my nerdy wants to go to woodworking stores and everything.
That's okay. You'll pop into collage stores with her, I'm sure.
I will.
I don't know if there's many around.
She just said, she goes, "It's just a thrift store." I'm like, "Yeah."
It's just, yeah. Well, there's thrift stores everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can find tools in there.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's a win.
estate sales and everything too. I see, I love going
States.
to that stuff.
So there's right around the block from me. There's a antique dealer or something, but he essentially goes to estate sales and he buys up
Yep.
their estates, and he mostly rents things out or sells stuff to the movie industry
Oh, okay.
because they need things for sets. But it's literally right around the block. And one day I went in there and I was like, "Hey, do you come across any woodworking tools?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, all the time." And I was like, "Oh, do you sell them?" He's like, "Nah, we keep those for ourselves." I was like, "Ah, come on, man!" Like, I was like, "Can you like show me something?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, we keep them." He's like, "Or we sell them, like to tool companies and stuff."
Right.
So I try to make friends with him and like, "Hey, if you got something, can I take a look at it?"
Hey, that's
He's like,
worth
"If
the
I."
shot though. That's worth a shot, man.
Yeah, I mean, he has some really cool, creepy stuff in there, but
Oh, I bet he does. If he has enough to supply like the movie industry a little bit, I bet you he has
mhm.
some really cool looking things.
Oh, he's got a ton of stuff. So it's about a 10,000 foot square warehouse that
Oh,
he
wow.
has,
Yeah.
and it's covered from ceiling to floor, wall to wall, in the middle, everywhere covered stuff. You could spend hours in there, and he has furniture and box. There's some really cool antique boxes. I took some pictures. And I'll send it to you. They're those old school marquetry style
Yeah.
boxes, and
For a while,
um,
I was like, "Oh,
maybe they were,
I wanna collect some of those," you know?
maybe they were cigarette boxes. I think back in the
The
day they
cigarette,
would
a
put
lot
like,
of really neat looking ones too are old knife boxes. They have really crazy shapes to
uh,
them. Yeah.
yeah. So he has a lot of every now and then I stop in there just to see if there's a tool or two, but I'll look around at the boxes and stuff.
Mm. Yeah, the ones that
Yeah.
I really love are I have a bunch of books on that are the Japanese Tansu boxes.
Are those like the puzzle boxes?
No, they would be kind of like sometimes the box, like a person that did all the letter writing, he'd keep all of his ink and everything in it.
Oh yeah, with those little.
All little drawers and some of them a lot of metal sometimes a lot of metalwork on the hinges, like handmade hinges and
Yeah.
really decorative, like, I know they had money boxes, just a ton of stuff, but I mean, Japanese woodworking is just another level.
It's
It's
a
just
whole other
sometimes just
beast.
it's just so beautiful, and, I
Yeah.
always wanted to do my own Tansu box, my take
Yeah.
on it or something like that at some point, but, I don't
And
know.
the ingenuity behind all of their, joinery and
Yeah,
sculpting and just design element in general is incredible.
incredible.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
they had a very good eye for architectural design.
Yeah. It's just
Um,
like for me, it was
which
just
is
like instant respect for like that style
yeah,
and what they were doing.
which is why so many woodworkers now rip it off. I mean, Green and Green ripped off the Japanese style and
Probably like the cloud
infused it with
work
their
or
arts and
yeah,
crafts.
yeah.
Yeah. And all those like those lifts, they with the are they called lifts or I forget, but they have those like
Yeah, the cloud. Yeah, it's like
The
the
stepped
cloud
look,
and yep.
and yeah, I would love to go to a green house, like the bungalow they have, and
Yeah, or that the main one that's in I think it's in California.
yeah,
Um,
that's a
that one is just
uh,
it was just on PBS again for something, and it yeah. They're interviewing the
I would love
family,
to
the
see.
young girl that grew up in it. And it's like, you just don't know what you're in, as a young
She
child.
they etched her height into the door frame.
Yeah.
No, you know what we have here in New York is a lot of the Art Deco style
Oh,
architectural. The Chrysler Building, the Empire State Building,
right.
and it's really
Which
cool to
is
see. But
another beautiful yeah. I know, I think that's what
uh,
Jason loves also is, like, the Art Deco style. He had talked
yeah,
about
he's a
that
big Art Deco
numerous
fan.
times. Yeah. And I love the
He
sweeping lines and everything of that.
Yeah, he takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things,
Mhm.
and he really knows. He incorporates them well. I mean, I could see the architectural elements in your work as well. I mean, they're there, but you have your own artistic spin on it, man. It's
Wanna
incredible what you do.
copy yeah, it's like I don't wanna copy something completely, but to take an aspect of something and tweak it a little bit.
I've never seen anything quite like what you do. And there's moments when I'll see like elements of architectural design in it. Like
Mhm.
there's some mid-century modern type look to it.
Yeah.
You did a box like it's like triangular shaped and it has very spindly, pointy legs to it. Um,
That's the Astro box that I just finished up. Yeah.
so that one to me looks very like mid-century modern. You'd see in like
Yeah.
the early 70s or so, like
Yeah.
a coffee table. But it has this unique flow curve shape to it. That's not quite like a typical mid-century modern piece.
What I
So it's
the
really
the
cool.
thing the thing that I love that I had fun with that one was and I would tell you, it's weird, the inspiration somewhat, part of it comes from, the Jetsons.
Okay,
So
I could see that.
yeah. So, retrofuturism is kinda like the term they use, and
Okay.
if you if you search that out, like, architecturally, it's just, the stuff that people used to sketch up and everything, it's so cool. It's
Mm.
just amazing in how they do it, and that's why actually, it's why the box name is Astro, because I
Oh,
was
like the
gonna call
dog.
it Yep, yep, I was gonna call it Zastro, but because that's what he used to call himself, but yeah.
You could always name it Judy after the robot.
Oh, there's a few more boxes coming, so
Oh, okay, that's cool. Very
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I look forward to seeing those.
Yeah, I think I didn't name it yet, but the one I'm currently working on, I'm using the 2 of the cone spikes again, and so that one's
Mhm.
very retro, and I'm this was my first time trying, well, I did it on the box before too, but, silver leaf. Trying to
Okay,
do some
yeah.
silver leaf work. Um, this new
That's
one
a
though, I
skill in
actually
itself.
it is, but there's so much fun to learn how to do something else. And I
Mm,
always thought engine turning was really cool. So I practiced that and did some engine turning on the leaf for the next
mm.
box.
Since I was in that framing world,
Oh, you used to do a
we
lot.
repli yeah, I didn't really gild that much, but they
Oh,
gilded everything there because we did
mhm.
antique replicas. And they would match frames or they'd restore antiques and stuff. So they had a gilding department, and man, it is intense with the gesso and the sizing and the bowl they call it. The clay they put over it
Yeah.
and the burnishing, and I mean it goes on. It's oil gilding, water gilding. I
Yeah,
mean,
that adds
they're
actually a little bit more than what I've done, but I want
yeah.
to. It's so much fun to learn that. Now, were you doing the carving, like reproduction carving?
So I was in the wood shop. I did the milling, the I milled the frames. I glued them together. I did some carving. I didn't do much. They had guys in the finishing department that did all the ornate carvings. At the
Okay.
time when I was there, I wasn't as involved in carving as I am now. I could definitely do it now if I, tried and had a hand at it. But it was an incredible place to be, and you know, I learned from some really amazing, talented people. I'm still friends with a good amount of them, and just the amount of knowledge behind everyone in there was
Yeah.
incredible. Um, just
That's what I find just, like, amazing to surround yourself with
yeah,
is just that knowledge base. I mean, we joke about it. It's like, uh, sometimes the best thing you can be is the dumbest person in the room.
yeah.
Um, as long as you got that mind where you just wanna absorb everything that everybody's saying around you and teaching you, so
And when I was there, I would sit there and I'd watch people, just watch what they do and
yeah.
listen to what they were saying, and just I'd watch the guys carve for 20, 30 minutes at a time and
I
just
could that would
see what
be
they're
just
doing.
mesmerizing to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, and everyone was always very willing to share their knowledge. And
Mm,
what's funny is a lot of them were old timers. They were in their, I want to say, late 60s to 80s range age gap,
okay.
and they still had that old school artisanal mentality. They would come in and they'd be wearing like a shirt and a tie and dress shoes and pants, and they'd come into work and they would change out of that into their shop clothes,
Right.
and they would work all day, and then they would get changed out of it back into their nice, respectable
Yeah.
clothes, and they'd be on their way. I was like, that's a really old school artist. Like,
Mentality.
you could
Yeah.
see they took pride in what they did and how they looked, and
Right.
both. Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Very, very lucky to have that experience and to know those people and learn from them.
Right. That is really cool.
And I saw amazing art. I mean, things that people have to see 20 feet away behind glass, behind ropes, because they were a high end picture frame
Doing, like,
company for
reproductions
museums, art
or
galleries.
making custom frames
Yeah,
for people?
either reproductions of original antiques or restoration of original
Ah,
frames. So sometimes we'd cut an antique in half and we'd have to make it bigger or smaller or to accommodate the art. But any high end name brand artist you can think of, I built a frame for it.
that's pretty
Picasso,
cool.
Monet, and Chagall's, and everything you can think of.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting place to be. All right, I guess we can wrap it up here. I could go on for
Alright.
2 more hours nerding out. Um, where can people find your work if they want to find you?
Mainly on Baenen Boxes on Instagram or Jeff Baenen Boxes on, Facebook. And they
Okay,
also can find me at, uh, jeffbainenboxes.com.
awesome.
But,
Jeff, I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to come on the show today. Your work is a reminder that woodworking isn't just about building objects, it's about shaping material into something that carries intention, patience, and personality. The way you approach your boxes really sits at that intersection of precision, craftsmanship, and sculptural design, and it's been inspiring to watch your work evolve over the years. I really appreciate you sharing some insight into your process, your philosophy, and what it takes to dedicate yourself to such a refined niche within the woodworking and wood sculpting world. For anyone listening, I highly encourage you to check out Jeff's work at Bain& Boxes. The level of detail and artistry in his pieces is something you really have to see for yourself. Jeff, thanks again for joining me today, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
hopefully we will, and thank you for, giving me this opportunity and for, I don't know, liking what I'm doing. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, I really appreciate it.